The summer anime season continues on relentlessly, and I'm still here looking at anime which aired in the last 7 days. I've watched a lot of anime this season, more anime than I've reviewed so far, which is why I'm looking at these new shows, letting you know what I think of them, and the usual blur which goes before the start of an episode. I always struggle coming up with stuff here, but I don't think that really comes across too greatly. You never hear me waffling on about pointless things in preview guides, do you? I digress. Join me as I look at the next 4 anime airing this season, let you know what I think of them, let me know in the comments what you think of them, and stuff like that. Because this is a 2023 summer anime preview from a different perspective. First up today, we've got The Great Cleric, yet another isekai series, which starts with a main character being transported to another world. This guy at least dies in a more interesting way than being hit by a truck, or just dying. He's shot in the street by a random stranger, by mistake. Now when our main character Lucio wakes up in another world, he's already pre-adult, so we miss the annoying waking up as a baby in this new world scenario, although it's a bit less realistic, not that you can ever call isekai realistic in the first place. He's given an MMO style character creation option where you can choose his class, his skills, his talents and all that sort of shit. And so he picks a healer, because he doesn't want to be out front fighting bad guys, he just wants to be in the background supporting people and being praised for it. Basically he wants all accommodations with none of the work. Unfortunately, one thing he doesn't realise is in this world, healers have got a bit of a bad reputation. Corrupt healers have been taking over the towns and making life bad for people who need healing, charging from the nose for minor services. But that really is commendation-seeking healers. However, Lucio wants none of this. He just wants to learn to be a healer, help a few people, and just live a comfortable life doing what he can. The harem vibes are very much with this anime, as pretty much every character we meet except the random grunts are the attractive female characters. None more so than Lumina, the leader of a new squad of paladins, who Lucio quickly clings to. In the intro we get a bunch of other interesting characters, all very attractive females, including a random bunny girl for no reason. That's not going to crop up later on in the season at all, I'm sure. But this is very much a by the numbers isekai. He's not overpowered. He's not anything special. He's just a guy transported to the world with healing skills. We don't know where this one's going, but I imagine it's going to be with him becoming a healer, healing people. The Great Cleric seems to imply that. So maybe he's going to be the most powerful cleric in the world. You're going to want to put up a anime to do that. This one isn't that fantastic. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not bad. But it doesn't do anything to draw you back. It's not a terrible isekai. It's not a good isekai, so I've got no reason to watch it. If you want to watch The Great Cleric, you can find it airing over at Crunchyroll. Next up today, we've got Reign of the Seven Spellblades, a fantasy-style anime where a bunch of people go into this magic school to learn magic, as you do. And it introduces itself as your classic type of fantasy high school anime, just with a bit of Harry Potter magic thrown in there for good measure. Not a huge fan of Harry Potter, don't think I've ever actually watched any of the movies, but I know that look when I see it. Of course, what makes Reign of the Seven Spellblades interesting for me is so far in episode 1, we're introduced to 6 Spellblades. Who's the 7th one? No idea. We have our main character, the rather boring named Oliver, although he's Oliver Horn, so he's definitely going to be a horn dog. We've introduced a bunch of other characters. We got Pete, who's a tsundere geek who is very standoffish, but he'll warm up to you when you know him. You got Michaela McFarlane, a princess type character from a very well known family, very well known for its interesting hairstyle. Although I'll be honest, I do love some princess curl myself. You got the best mate looking character, Guy Greenwood, who looks like the best mate you get in anime like these. You got this very straight talking Vera Milligan, who very quiet stoic female character. What would stand out most in the first episode, or second to be of a main female lead, is Katie Alto, who is as mousy as you like, super cheerful, but pretty much always in trouble. The main female lead, Nanao Hibiya, and yes, her name sounds Japanese because she's basically Japanese. She is a clueless, sweet, innocent samurai girl. So sweet and innocent, she doesn't realise that everything she does is being sexualised by everybody who watches her. Now, I don't remember most of those characters, mainly because I watched the episode and you don't really know the character by watching it. Katie, Oliver and Nanau are ones that really stand out to me. And of course Michaela's hair. Nanau stands out for a different reason in that she basically decides to bathe herself in the morning in the fountain out front of the residences. She has special powers. She has pure magic, apparently. Apparently it's supposed to be a very rare thing. Turns your hair white. She looks very cute when she does it. But this is what that basically is. It's a fantasy, it's a fantasy, school time, action, fantasy anime. If you've seen anime like this before, you've seen this one. It doesn't do anything special. I may watch a few more episodes because, I'll be honest, I like the look of Nanau and Katie. And of course Michaela's hair. But I probably won't watch more in a couple of episodes. This one's also airing over at Crunchyroll. Next up, we've got The Gene of AI, an anime which is looking at AI, and for one thing, it's not talking about ChatGPT for a change. Welcome to a world where humans are now being accompanied by humanoids. Effectively, they are mechanized human souls inhabiting mechanical bodies. A way of extending life past death, or defeating incurable diseases. But there are laws in place to prevent the humanoids from becoming overpowerful or being too strong. One law being shown in the first episode here is you're not allowed to clone yourself. If you copy your data from one humanoid to another, you must cut and paste that data. You cannot copy and paste. There's no backing yourself up. If you run into a problem with your software or your memory, sadly, you end up having to die. One thing I did like about this one is it was very subtle about how it showed off different characters. There is a tell to whether or not someone is a human or a humanoid. The pupil in the eye. If the pupil is horizontal, like the reverse of a cat's eye, they're in humanoid with a robot. And our main character, Dr. Pseudo, is a highly qualified doctor who treats some patients on the side out of hours and offer books because he treats people with issues which should probably get him into trouble. He's doing that because he wants to find a person who I think cloned his mother. His mother's in prison for crimes against humanoids. And if I watch the first episode correctly, there's an interesting twist at the end where we find out who the scary man with no face crying man is. And it's an interesting twist and I like the sound of it. This one has mystery thriller all about it, with sort of like a Ghost in the Shell style technological edge to it. It's nowhere near as good as Ghost in the Shell, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to compare the two anime. This one has legs. I didn't expect it to. And I'm not just saying that because his humanoid nurse, Risa, is bloody adorable. I like myself a good twin tail character. Long, brown-haired twin tails. You don't get them as much in anime these days, but they're still very pleasing when you see them. The Gene of AI isn't going to be an anime for everybody. It's not got fan service all over the place. It's not got action. It's not comedy. It's not even special looking. But from Studio Madhouse, you know it's going to go somewhere interesting. If you do want to watch The Gene of AI, you can find this one airing over to Crunchyroll. And finally today, you get quite possibly the biggest disappointment of a season. I'm not just talking about Yohane being unavailable to UK people. Welcome to A Masterful Cat is depressed again today, as the anime fan Fuds is depressed again, once more, because I've taken this interesting concept and given it to the worst studio imaginable. Yep, I mentioned earlier on in a previous episode that GoHands have their hands on 2 anime this season. This here is the second one. And we spent the first 5 minutes of the anime just looking at scenery and glossiness and reflections, the usual GoHands stuff. Once you get past that, the anime isn't as bad as it could be. You can still see the GoHands touch every so often, especially with camera angles and the shots and the way the humans don't really fit into the background. It's just a bit sloppy and it misses a lot of the beats it wants to. Give this anime to another studio, this would be probably one of my recommendations of a season. But with the animation quality and the way the anime is portrayed here, I'm not going to recommend it. The story of Masterful Cat is a pretty decent slice of life setup. You got an office worker who goes to work and comes home every day to her housemate. Now this one, I immediately think, okay, that's very much like Dragon Maid, except for the fact that the housekeeper isn't a maid and it isn't a dragon. It's a big cat called Yukichi, who doesn't speak. It's just a big cat in an apron, and occasionally in a hazmat suit where he has to give Saku, the other main character, a bath. There is plenty of cuteness here. Saku is a very pleasing main character. Yukichi has all the mannerisms of a cat, just on hind legs, walking around as though he's Kate C from Aria. If you can look past the animation studio and the animation itself from the CG and the terrible animation decisions, this one may be worth a watch. And I've not said that about a Gohan's anime pretty much ever. The premise is okay, it's just the delivery which is off point. If you do want to watch Masterful Cat, this one's airing over at Crunchyroll. Today's episodes were The Great Cleric, Reign of the Seven Spellblades, The Gene of AI, and The Masterful Cat is depressed again today. 4 shows of okay quality, which you can watch all on Crunchyroll to your leisure. Let me know what you think in the comments and join me next time for more. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.